See, that's why like I don't particularly care if I'm cutting or not, because I mean, look at this, look at this. Anyways, let's have a look. Let's do a couple of reacts real quick. I'm not gonna watch the entire video, just a little bit. Beautiful Turkish actress. Don't particularly care. I'm here for languages. Pronunciation differences. American was shocked by English words differences. Ooh, this is fun.
What do I think about?
Think about. What do you think about? Come on, lads, do it.
What do I think about Australian accent? I don't really think too much about it. People laugh at it a lot. Maybe it sounds cute or stupid. I don't know. The New Zealand accent, I feel like it's the softer sister of...
Softer sister? Bigger man, bigger brother. I don't feel like I'm your softer sister.
Hello.
What do you guys think when you think of an Australian accent? For me, the first thing that comes to my mind is, oh no. that's what because I heard an actress in a movie do that in a film, and so it just stuck in my head.
Today we're going to see the accent and word differences between 6 different countries.
She's very serious today. Usually
We are a British colony, but obviously we're quite far away from the UK and we're quite secluded down the bottom of the world, meaning that over the years we've developed our own slang, our own sort of pronunciation of things, and then mixing in our other native language, Māori, with our English. We've got a very unique style of English, but I think our accent is quite soothing. People say they like to hear our accent, so I'm quite...
I love the Kiwi accent. I'll have to say though, I'm sure they have regional varieties, am I right? But then again, whenever I think of a Kiwi accent, the one that I heard the most is the one where it's like instead of saying edit, they say eat it. You know what I mean? Eat it. And now if there is someone, come on, am I gonna get a Kiwi in chat? What are the chances? How many of them are there anyways? New Zealanders, 16? I don't think it's gonna happen. Anyways, let's go.
Proud of how we speak.
About our English, we are also colonized by the British, but I think over time we have our own slangs as well. We swallow certain letters in our words.
Yes.
But I think that's what makes us interesting.
I swallow pizza. That's what I get for being born in Italy. Is this going to be about the British Empire?
And yeah.
So in South Africa, we have 11 official languages. So I would say each of those groups might have their own way of pronouncing English words. But we definitely have some slang that we all say in common.
She doesn't sound South African. This is gaslighting me, guys. When I think of a South African accent, I think of imagine the poshest English accent and exaggerate it. To me, that's a good descriptor of like a South African accent.
Some things that we say that you could pick out a South African, for example, saying hello, hello.
She said, for example, that's not how South Africans speak. Come on. I'm going to die on this hill, okay? I'm going to die. They should have put a Scottish here. That would have been amazing. A Scottish calling everyone wee man. That'd be great.
Like saying hello twice is a very South African thing. I've
Really?
been able to be like, you're South African, just by someone saying hello. So we do have that. A lot of people don't say R, they just say water, for example.
Like in England, yeah.
So yeah, lots of...
I say water. The other day, my mother-in-law was making fun of me, by the way, because I said, I'd like some water. And she's like, water, water. And I'm like, I don't actually say it like that. I don't say it like that, though. You know what I mean? You could just repeat it without the additional flair. Besides, she has a southern accent anyways. It's not like, so I mean, I could make fun of her at that point. Although then again, she could kick me out of her own country, so there's that.
Different South African accents.
Okay,
What
cool.
do I think about Australian accent?
Yeah.
I don't really think too much about it. People laugh at it a lot. Maybe it sounds cute or stupid. I don't know. Personally, like, I really like the Kiwi accent, the New Zealand accent.
Yeah, I like it too.
I feel like it's the softer sister of...
You know, when it comes to doing a little introduction to the editor from a fellow content creator, if you're gonna add a little clip at the beginning to do the later on this video, maybe choose it from somewhere that isn't within the first 17 seconds of the video, because otherwise I feel like I'm watching the same thing twice. Am I being too nitpicky? Am I being...
Softer sister, bigger man, bigger brother. I don't feel like I'm your softer sister.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Australian accent sounds pretty lazy if you're comparing it to other English-speaking languages. We have a...
You know what she has? A rising terminal. When you compare it to other languages, it's a rising terminal. When they Some Australian speakers have this characteristic. So rather than like having a conversation, you're speaking about this, and then you go down or going down. Instead, they do this when they're telling stories. They rise at the end. She just did it. Check this out.
Pretty lazy.
Lazy? Like she goes up. You know who goes completely? You know who the opposite? What the opposite accent would be from this feature? Old school New York. Because in old school New York, they move kind of flat and then it goes down. So they're like, I'm going to the store. Going to the store. I can't do it right. Coffee. Like it goes down. Instead, they go up. I find it fascinating.
If you're comparing it to other English-speaking languages, we have a lot of slang. Like, for example, if you're saying afternoon, we just say avo. Like, we don't really open our mouths when we speak.
You what?
That's very, like, classic Australian, yeah.
As an American, it's another former British colony, but I think we sound...
Next. She's English, the one on the right. Is she going to say she's a former British colony as well? Because, I mean, technically, there were some colonists at one point that moved up or down within what we call now the British Isles and colonized. So at the end of the day, she gets to say it too. I don't even care.
Like a British colony out of everybody else. I know there's a bit of like historical background about post-splitting off from each other. There was accent change on both sides. That was in my history textbook. I don't know how true that is. But I can say since we're such a huge place, we have probably about 50 accents in itself. So I would say we have the most diverse amount of English accents within the region.
I mean,
I'm not sure about that because the English have, well, probably though. Do they though? Because in England there are a lot, like you get a Mancunian, a Scouser, a Cockney, but even in London itself you can run into a posh, someone who has a estuary accent, kind of mid-class. You can run into a Cockney, of course. You can, although I heard that a lot of Cockneys now are in Kent, believe it or not. And then, like even in London itself, you've got lots of different accents. Never mind, like the differences between a Mancunian, a Broomy, a Scouser. You know, yeah, one town in the UK can have a half a dozen. Exactly. Personally, I don't know, because in England, I know it's smaller. But the number of accents will surprise you. It's insane. I know because I lived in England, you muppets. You muppets.
I think the UK is kind of the same, but instead it's like all condensed into this one small island, another little island to the side. Yeah, it's so hard to pinpoint the English accent because it's just so diverse and so specific.
See, that's what I mean. Like you've got, Yorkshire. Yorkshire, it's like historically, linguistically conservative when it comes to the accent, because have you ever noticed someone from Yorkshire, they have these like elongated vowels. Rather than saying Facebook, they will say Facebook. So it's like fears instead of face. And that's how everyone used to speak in the Middle Ages, by the way. They just preserved the sound. Although I think Scottish is even more conservative when it comes to that, because a knight in the Middle Ages wouldn't say right. They would say right, exactly like they in some areas of Scotland. And before that, they would just pronounce it richt. So it sounded almost Germanic, like really Germanic. But basically, you go from E to A to I to I. That's kind of the sort of evolution of pronunciation. That's why, like a knight before was a nate, knecht, knecht. Right, it starts from E to A to I, more nasalized. And I think the Scots are the ones that are closer to how people spoke in the Middle Ages. That's what I believe from my studies.
Regions, my accent is it's RP, but it's also a little bit vague as well. It's like a little mix with an American accent.
You don't have an American accent. For those who don't know, RP means received pronunciation, and it's kind of like they speak like broadcasters speak. So in theory, now that she said that, I'm going to check it. Because if you if you use a glottal stop once for a T, you're done. You're done. You're done. What I mean by that is in RP, T's are properly pronounced. So you should say, for instance, forgot. Right? If she goes into, even for a second, did you forget? I forgot. Water, lighter. She's done. But I'm telling you this much, and this is crazy. I know I'm speaking a lot, but what you want from me, you clicked. You know what's interesting? It's just that the English language is insane. Because if you remove a T from water, you sound like you never read a book in your life. But if you remove a T from British and network, you sound posh. You're doing the same thing. It's a glottal stop. It's So, network, British, How does that happen? It's the same thing. Come on.
I don't know. It's how can I even categorize it, you know? I guess a lot of people like the British accent a lot. They always ask me to say like bottle of water. Basically every single person I meet asks me that.
Yeah, but you should have said bottle of water, fisherman's daughter.
Your party trick.
Yeah, no, literally, like before they even like say, they say, can you? And I just, bottle of water. And then they just, yeah. You're welcome, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nice. All right.
In New Zealand, we say oregano.
In Singapore, we say oregano.
I might be wrong, but I think some South Africans might say oregano.
In Australia,
Really?
we say oregano.
Am I the only one? In the States, you'd say oregano.
I think maybe influenced by America, some people might say oregano, but mostly it's oregano, for sure.
Nice. Do you want to know how we say it in Italian? In Italian, we say, drums, please, oregano. So, I mean, kind of like the, oh my gosh, the face. Sorry for that non-flattering. Let's give it a good, okay, now she's smiling. Yeah, in English, I would say oregano. That's how I would say it, oregano. Pass me the oregano, you muppet. Yeah, sounds good.
I don't know. That was a little odd. I wasn't expecting everyone to say oregano. Usually there's like a throw-in of someone that sounds similar to me.
I was hoping not to go first. I feel like we're going to butcher this word and I'm not going to pronounce it.
I want to underline, by the way, when the English girl said, people like my British accent, whatever she said, Scottish accent is a British accent. A Welsh accent is a British accent. An English accent is a British accent. They are all British. Because sometimes, and I notice this in America, people think that British means English. British means from Britain. Britain includes all of those. And that's important to underline, you know?
Probably, the New Zealand guy sounds really intelligent. Then he says oregano, and I'm like, oh my god. Where did they dig up this Neanderthal?
Oh
New
my
Zealand
God.
would say avocado.
In Singapore, we say avocado.
In South Africa, we say avo or avocado.
Avo.
Cute.
In Australia,
It's not
we
cute.
say avocado or avo.
Avo is so cute.
Avo's
I
horrible.
like that. In the States, it's avocado.
In the UK, it's avocado.
Similar.
It's all the same, yeah.
See, this is what I meant. Like normally there's one.
Have you ever heard, guys, someone in America calling pepperoni peps? Or even worse, roni. Burn them by the steak.
And that's a little similar, and I'm like, ugh.
So they're all pretty much the same, right? What was the Singaporean?
Avocado.
Oh yes, that's pretty similar. Except the Americans pronounce the butt differently. The ass end of avocado.
Nobody says avocado. Fresh avocado. Anybody?
Avocado.
Meme? It's a meme. I don't know where it's from,
Is it?
but fresh avocado. I think they're joking.
Well, first of all, I don't think we would say popsicle. I think we'd say like lolly.
Popsicle,
Yes.
the frozen stuff.
Yeah, the
Yeah, lolly. Have you ever heard of a lollipop lady? In England, it's the lady that helps the children cross the street during school hour. I've seen quite a few. They're called lollipop lady. Can you imagine where you're like walking around the street in London and then you see like, my friend is the one with the red jacket. Yeah, right next in between the Bobby and the lollipop lady. It's like, what language are you even speaking at this point? What language?
frozen one we'd call an ice lolly. Maybe, again, following America, because we watch so much American TV that I think like slowly it all comes
Like
into our
together,
vernacular.
yeah.
So maybe we'll say popsicle or ice lolly.
That's kind of cute though.
It's cute.
Well,
Yeah.
it's really a popsicle on the States side.
We call it an icy pole in Australia.
Icy
That's
pole.
cute too.
In South Africa, I would have said icy as a kid.
Like the brand?
No, just call it an icy.
Do they have ice in South Africa? I imagine it being hot.
If it doesn't have cream in it, it would be an icy.
Yeah, we just use ice cream for everything. But if it's like a ice in like a long, we call it ice batu.
We pronounce it popsicle, but we say ice block. Ice block compared to ice cream.
Sounds so heavy.
Ice block. Yeah, someone is saying anonymous here. Ice block. Ice block makes me think of Mortal Kombat, like Sub-Zero doing an ice block like this one up here. ice block. That's what I think.
It's a block of ice on a stick. I mean, there's a brand in New Zealand called Popsicle. It's a brand, but everything that is like that is called an ice block. An ice cream is made from ice cream, and an ice block is made from
blocks.
ice. Yeah, there's no dairy in it.
From blocks.
We would say in the UK hot dog.
Yeah, I think same in the States, we'd say hot dog.
We call it a sausage or snag.
We would have two names. So if it has like a very processed sausage, it would probably be just called, that would be called a Vienna, and we would call it a hot dog. But if it has boerewors, it would be a boerewors roll.
In Singapore, it's just hot dog.
So we've got a couple of versions, but similar to the Australians. The American version is the American hot dog bun, or a hot dog. That's still a hot dog. But we have something called a sausage sizzle.
Oh yeah, we have that.
So sausage sizzle is just normal daily bread with onions in a tissue with a sausage in it.
No bun.
Wow.
No bun, just like a square piece of white bread.
White.
You can have that. Honestly, you can keep that. You know what's interesting is in Italy, of course, that if you say hot dog, but with an accent, so we would say hot dog. Un hot dog, actually. Hot dog. That's how we say it. Don't even ask me why. Hot dog. So in Italy it's hot dog, but we mean it the one with the bun. So if it's just a sausage, we say, I'm kind of ashamed of it, but we say Wustel, which is a debauchery of an approximation of whatever the heck they say, I guess, in German. Maybe a type, no idea. Now you want a hot dog? I don't, because I had this big of a sandwich and I'm really, really full. I'm really, really full.
Bread if you're poor, brown bread if you've got to splash out and get a bit of money.
And tomato sauce.
Yeah, and we use it in New Zealand. It's always used as
I want to go to New Zealand.
You lost me at the tomato sauce.
I mean, tomato sauce is like your ketchup, but we call it tomato sauce.
Well, I also hate...
Seriously. What do you call tomato sauce? Can you imagine? Or watch him say that if it's Italian salsa di pomodoro, he calls it ketchup. And I'm going to flip the table right now. Man, come on, man. I just said I wanted to visit your country. Why do you have to begin an international warfare statement? Literally. Casus belli.
ketchup. But that's just me. Every American's gonna be like, blasphemer!
Our tomato sauce tastes a bit different. What tomato sauce do you guys use in Australia? What's the Australian
Tell me
brand?
about it.
Heinz?
So we don't use Heinz, we use our local brand, which is the most popular. Yeah, so the American one's a hot dog, but the other one's a sausage sizzle or a sausage.
You don't say snag?
We don't say snag, no.
I don't know where
Snag.
it came from. I have no idea.
It's not a word.
It's not a word.
It's just...
I really like the New Zealand guy, by the way. I like how he's like manhandling everything.
Made up sounds joined together. Snag is what happens when you go fishing and your hook gets stuck on a rock. We call that a snag.
I could tell you guys anything, honestly.
In the UK, we say lipstick.
Yeah.
Same, in the US we say lipstick.
In Australia, we say lipstick.
Yeah.
In South Africa, we also say lipstick.
In Singapore, we also say
Come on, Kiwi, don't disappoint.
Same for us. Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, you know why? You're like, but why did they choose it? They didn't. It was the Koreans all along. You say lippy. Well, I know because the show is in Korea. I think it's a Korean who chose the words. They should have had me. I would have made it really interesting, guys, with my choice of words.
New Zealand lipstick.
Maybe in the UK, we might say lippy as well.
Oh, you did say it. You did. Nah, I got to show this. Anony Mouse. You said it. Anony Mouse. And we got some Chinese right there. Is it 你说什么? I think that's 说. I don't remember that character, I haven't seen it in a while. That's 说, I think. 你说什么? What did you say? I think. Anyways, and what we've got here, USA. Let's go.
Lippy, but is it lipstick or lip gloss?
I think that covers everything. Yeah, I think we just say mosquito.
In the US we also say mosquito.
In Australia, we say mozzie.
Cute.
South Africans would say mosquito.
Why would they create a cute word for a mosquito? Yeah, 你说什么? That's what I thought. 你说什么? 不知道.
In Singapore, we say mosquito.
我不知道.
We also say mosquito and mozzie, but mozzie has another meaning in Australia and New Zealand too. Maori immigrants that moved to Australia 20 or 30 years ago had kids, and their kids look like me, they look Maori, but culturally and internally they're Australians. So we call them a Māori Aussie or a Mozzie. So often when they come back from Australia, they have an Australian accent. They support the Australian rugby team for some reason. I don't know, maybe.
Unbelievable.
We call them Mozzies, Māori Aussies.
Okay, so the fact that he has Maori roots, which makes it really interesting, also explains why he doesn't sound like, in my opinion, not trying to be disrespectful, but I'm saying that's probably why he doesn't have the usual accent that I expect from a Kiwi. Do you think, because he just said, by the way, that there is an influence maybe in the way they speak. He said the way they look, people that look like me, fine, but I think maybe there is some influence in the way he speaks as well.
Similar to what a Korean American would be called a kyopo. Yeah.
In the UK, we'd say Jaguar.
In the US, we'd say Jaguar.
Actually, the way she said it, I think in England you would say Jaguar, not the way she said it. So maybe it's true that she's got a little influenced by America. Let me hear it again.
And would be called a kyopo. Yeah.
In the UK, we'd say Jaguar.
Yeah, she says Jaguar. I think it's Jaguar. Not that I'm saying that no single English would ever pronounce it like her. I'm sure there are, but I'm saying when I was in England, and I was in a Jaguar at one point because I knew a guy. This guy was hilarious. This guy was very class, very well dressed, black man with a Jaguar in England. Guy was like, he was awesome, and he was very proud of his car. And I remember him saying that, Jaguar. Do you like my Jaguar?
In the US, we'd say Jaguar.
In Australia, we say Jaguar.
That's funny. In South Africa, we also say Jaguar.
In Singapore, we say Jaguar.
Yeah, Aotearoa New Zealand, same as Australian, so Jaguar.
I feel like this would be
Jaguar.
different region to region in the UK.
It would also, I think, also in the US be different region to region, yeah.
I say Jaguar, but I'm doubting myself as I say it.
I didn't know there are other ways of saying it.
You should doubt.
Jaguar. Just know you.
It didn't even occur to me that
Fuck
people
you.
say it
Fuck
differently.
you.
But in the UK, we say tire.
In the
Yeah.
standard English accent, I believe it's a tire.
In Australia, we say tire.
But that's how I want to say it, because that's how people in the Northeast say it.
In South Africa, we say tire, but I think some people say wheel.
In Singapore, we say tire.
Aotearoa New Zealand, tire, same as the Australians.
You just spell it differently, am I right?
I think for Australia, it's like tire. Like it kind of goes like that a little bit, like 2 syllables. Tire.
Yeah, I told you the Kiwi guy's my favorite. Man, it's a good show.
I know at home I would say like, oh, I need a tire. So like, depends on where you are too.
In the UK, we'd say her and hair.
I think in the standard American accent, it would be her and hair.
In Australia, we would say her and hair.
For the R, I'm gonna lean towards more how other South Africans would pronounce it, her and hair.
So can you tell the difference for those who are not native? The difference is in the vowel. I hope that they choose that, but a similar difference between what we just heard, her and hair, her, hair. The difference is the air, right? It's a similar situation, at least in an English accent, when you want to differentiate between the past plural, well, not plural, but like you were versus where are you, right? So I was, you were, so were, where. But I think there are some accents, maybe in Australia they pronounce them both where and where, I think, of course, may depend on the region. But where I was in England, I remember there was a distinction. If I were you, were, I were, whatever, but then where are you, where. So it's a vowel quality distinction.
In Singapore, we say her and hair.
Aotearoa New Zealand, her and hair. That's a pretty similar, right?
Pretty similar, yeah. But I find it funny that we all said standard suddenly. So I think it's like, not just me, but I think the rest of us would all start dropping the R if we didn't say it the standard way. I think like that's kind of the case.
But maybe this Singapore, we were talking about the R earlier on.
Yeah, but the R if it's in between something. So it's like already, you know?
In the UK, we'd say photography.
I think in standard American, it would be photography.
In Australia, we'd say photography.
I feel like South Africa.
Not a great choice of words. I think they're really fun, by the way. I loved it. I'm going to stop here because I usually don't do more than half of theirs, but it was really fun. But the choice of words, stop it. Goodness gracious, these women. Am I right? Can't even finish my sentence, already talking over me. Unbelievable. Anyways, I was saying it was pretty good. Good episode. Liked it. Very nice. Let's choose another one.